Pokémon Horizons already shocked the entire fanbase when it gave us an episode about a live streamer being cancelled on Twitter, but now in episode 97 it seemed the anime wanted to cover another current day modern topic like that, this time all about those awful, evil, scummy content creators who pull harmful pranks on innocent people. Like man, this guy was trolling everyone in this episode, and I can't wait to talk about it all right now. Basically, in the episode, Dot reunited with Iono in Levincia, and Iono told her about a situation going on in town. Pretty much, innocent people and Pokemon keep being pranked and trolled over and over and over by an unknown person. But those pranks aren't just silly goofy jokes. These people and Pokemon around town keep being attacked and knocked out. Like physically attacked. Dot and Iono slow down the video footage and find out that the person attacking people is a Stunfisk, and it's being powered by Laquium. Iono can't help Dot investigate it because apparently she's busy live streaming at twitch.tv/Pokeferlax. That's what I heard on the grapevine anyway. You guys should go and check it out using the link in the description to see if it's true. But anyway, Dot looks around the city and theorizes that maybe a Strong Sphere is responsible, because, you know, there is an Exceed headquarters here in town, but she quickly spots the Stunfisk hiding in the mud and it zaps her Pokemon Quaxwell before she ends up chasing it down a dark alleyway. Stunfisk's trainer is then revealed to be this dude who's wearing a whole Stunfisk cosplay outfit. Peak character design, ladies and gents, and he reminds me a lot of that character from Advanced Generation, Nikolai the Knickerbocker. He used to cosplay all of his Pokemon too. Mudkip, Zangoose, Zigzagoon, Gligar. What an absolute legend he was. I hope we see him again someday. So yeah, it turns out this dude's name is Magiro, probably butchering the pronunciation, and he's super inspired by Iono. He's a huge fan. He really wants to be a content creator, a streamer just like her, but he's so desperate to go viral that his content now is just attacking innocent people with his Stunfisk, and then recording their reactions and injuries to show on his stream, playing it off like an innocent little prank every time. Dude! In other words, he's the worst kind of YouTuber. Even worse than the ones who make Ash Ketchum is confirmed to return videos 5 times a week. I'm serious, even worse than them. Okay, look, prank channels and trolling channels, they're always gonna exist. Whether it's like couple pranks, or pranking the public, those videos are one of the easiest ways to go viral online. And I guess they're not so bad if the pranks are actually harmless and funny, and if it's on people who are actually willing to be pranked. But of course, some people are so scummy and heartless and so desperate to go viral that they go far beyond what's acceptable, and they actually begin terrorizing and attacking people. I mean, dude, there's a whole Watch Mojo article that I just read through giving some different examples of those kind of people. But think like the people who dressed up as scary clowns a few years ago to scare people and traumatize people. That's the kind of content we're talking about here. Magiro is literally making his Laquium-powered Stunfisk attack innocent people and Pokemon. He's going around and pranking and trolling everyone, genuinely causing harm and fear, just to try and get clout and views online. Yikes. As I'm sure you remember, Pokémon Horizons already recently gave us an episode about a parasocial stan trying to save their favourite streamer from getting cancelled on Twitter. Well, not Twitter specifically, but online in general. Does Poke-Twitter exist? I hope not for their sake. But yeah, we got an episode about that, and now they're giving us an episode about a content creator harming innocent people in a desperate attempt to go viral? I'm genuinely living for Horizons tackling topics like this. They feel so real and current and relevant, you know? It's really something that almost all young viewers will have encountered or can relate to in the real world. I really hope we get more and more stuff like this, because I really like it, man. I find it so impressive that an anime with over 1,000 episodes can still find new stuff to approach. Anyway, Dot calls Magiro out for harming innocent people in an attempt to go viral, and then he reveals, as we expected, that he's been using a Strong Sphere to power Stunfisk for the pranks. Basically, he wants to be noticed by Iono, so I think he wants to battle Dot because he thinks it can help, because he knows that Dot knows Iono. So in the battle, Quaxwell pretty much dodges every attack that Stunfisk uses, and then he nearly knocks it out with 2 powerful Aqua Cutters. And Stunfisk is sobbing and crying, and oh, it's just a little baby. It's so cute. So cute that I almost forgot it's literally terrorizing innocent people around the town. I blame its trainer anyway. Speaking of his trainer, Magiro then uses the Strong Sphere, and this leaves Stunfisk empowered and absolutely enraged. It's really sad to see it going from being such a cute little crybaby to being such a rageful, aggressive demon in such a short time span. Laquium is horrible, man. So Stunfisk, now that he's powered by Laquium, it easily uses a Laquium-infused Electro Web, which does unimaginable damage to Quaxwell, and then he gets under his feet and electrocutes him even more, knocking out Quaxwell with ease. The overwhelming power of Laquium is insane. Tinkatuff is ready to fight next, ready to avenge her older brother, but Stunfisk is so speedy that it dodges all of her attacks, and then it hits her with the double Laquium electric combo too, like it did with Quaxwell. But Tinkatuff stays standing. She's a tough one. Pun intended. And at this point, Magiro is realising that Stunfisk is absolutely losing control with anger and aggression. He seems concerned. Stunfisk uses Laquium Electro Web again, but this time Tinkatuff counters it with Brutal Swing, hitting Stunfisk really hard, and then Dot Terastalises Tinkatuff for the first ever time, revealing her Terra type is Steel. At first, I was celebrating so hard, dude, because I incorrectly thought that Tinkatuff was just a fighting type, not a fighting Steel type. So I was so happy that we finally got a main character Pokemon outside of Friede's Charizard with a whole new Terra type. But nope, I'm just dumb. Tinkatuff is a Steel type as well. Either way, I'm really happy to see a secondary Pokemon get in focus again. That was definitely one of the weakest parts of Horizons in the previous arcs, so I'm glad we're getting another episode in this arc fixing it. Oh, and also Tinkatuff learned a new move too, Metal Claw, which she somehow does with her hammer, despite it not being a claw. But anyway, Stunfisk is super hurt, and it becomes overwhelmed with Laquium. It begins lashing out and attacking so desperately and stressfully. It's honestly heartbreaking to see, man, but that's what Laquium does. Magiro, Stunfisk's trainer, is horrified too, watching his Pokemon scream out painfully, losing control. But luckily, Tinkatuff puts an end to it with one big final bonk. The battle is over. After the battle, Magiro is obviously worried about his Stunfisk, but then they meet Iono on video call and it seems they learn a big lesson from it. Iono pretty much helps Magiro realize that he can still become a streamer, but just without harming people and without using the Strong Spheres. Iono then invites him to try and prank her to go viral, so he excitedly smashes the Strong Sphere on the ground and he dashes off to set up a prank for Iono. All's well that ends well. The next day, Liko, Roy and Uruto are on a boat heading to Paldea, with Uruto being travel sick again. He really is so me as a teenager. Except I didn't fear girls. You've gotta believe me. Anyway, they're ready to reunite with Dot and Murdock in Cortondo, and then Dot heads that way too. So overall, I thought this episode was pretty decent. I don't think it was anything crazy or groundbreaking, but it was good enough to keep me entertained. Like I said before, my favourite part of the episode was the whole concept of an unethical, pranky, trolly content creator, Magiro, and then Dot and Iono trying to change his approach. And the whole Strong Sphere Laquium aspect just made it even more extreme and urgent. And it also showed us that Strong Spheres really are becoming an issue all around the world. It's good world building, dude. And I'm glad Tinkatuff got time to shine too. I know a lot of folks wanted her to evolve in this episode, but I personally didn't. I think getting a new move and Terastalizing for the first time was more than enough. I'd rather she evolves in a bigger, more important episode than this. And ideally a Metheo and his Corviknight would be there too. That way we can get a jokey scene about Tinkaton attacking it. Seeing the sisterly bond between Dot and Iono is always nice, and I liked Iono's approach to help change Magiro without completely shutting down his dreams. One thing that I will say though is that I do kind of think this might be one of the weakest Dot Focus episodes so far. That's not to say it was bad, I still enjoyed it. It's really just that all the other Dot Focus episodes have been absolutely peak, some of the greatest in the whole anime. So this one had really tough competition. I think the issue with this one is that outside of the pranky troller content creator idea, everything else that this episode did, previous episodes just did it even better. For example, Dot and Iono as streamers were done better in previous episodes, Dot's battling was done better in a previous episode, the Laquium Strong Spheres were done better in a previous episode. So while this episode was still good and it did entertain me, it didn't really stand out too much for me personally. But maybe it'll grow on me a lot more with a rewatch. I've gotta say though, I loved how this episode included Stunfisk. I'm the biggest lover ever of unpopular, underrated Pokemon. I mean, heck, my favourite Pokemon in the Masters 8 arc was Steven's Cradilly, just because it was so random and unique and new and unexpected. I love when Pokemon who typically don't get much focus get to be the star of the show, so Stunfisk was so dope in this episode. Its personality moving from being a crybaby to then being horrifically aggressive from the Laquium, that was executed so well. And finally, I'm glad that his trainer wasn't written to be an idiot in this episode. I mean, yeah, of course, Magiro was wrong for the type of content he was making, but he did recognize when his own Pokemon was in pain and angered. He didn't just ignore it or gloss over it like that idiot crowd did a few weeks ago. So for that, you've got my respect, Magiro. You're not being added to the list of my most hated characters. So let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comments below. How did you feel about Magiro trolling everyone? And about the anime cover and this topic in general? And if you enjoyed my review, feel free to drop a like and maybe subscribe too. It helps me out a ton and I'd really appreciate that. Come join our Discord server if you want to watch new episodes, live every week, and maybe consider becoming a channel member too if you really want to make my day. The link to both of those is in the description. Massive shout out to my incredible, amazing, awesome channel members. Dowpals, Toten, Racco, Pokesan, Regular San, Zach, Juscadia, Jay, Shiny Charm, Blazing Shots, Hope, The Duff One, Not Mini. Oh, I was running out of breath there. But yeah, you guys are legends and I appreciate you. So on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!